What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about and just doing some battles with Charizard as a starter in the Timeless Cup. Now, Charizard, I would say, is a bit of a high skill Pokemon just because you are going to need to play with energy in mind, and knowing your Charizard is quite squishy to a lot of stuff here. But the energy game is really key for Charizard. If you can weave your Charizard in and out and get some fire spins, it's gonna be optimal for Charizard, because Charizard has a fantastic bait move and then an extremely powerful blast burn. And so it really leaves a lot of options for play. If you can get a blast burn on a lot of these guys, it's just going to be see you later. So we're just going to do some battles with Charizard. I'm gonna just talk a little bit. I'm going to check him out in PV Poke. And so let's just get started with this guy. So taking a look at Charizard, we're going to go on to PV Poke, and we're going to look at the rankings for Charizard. And so we're going to bring up Timeless Cup. And we're going to overall look at, now Charizard is not like super high on the rankings. As you can see, we've got him all the way down here at number 12. But he does really well in the right hands. I think he is a powerful Pokemon, maybe a higher skill Pokemon, because he is a little squishy in this meta, but really everywhere, especially in Great League. He just doesn't, it's not a great level for him. I think he does a little bit better in Ultra. But as you can see, he's decent here. We've got a couple of options. I'm seeing Fire Spin as being the most used. You're gonna lose out on a couple of matches. Like, you're not gonna be able to, if you've got Dragonair at really low health, you're not gonna be able to farm it down with Fire Spin, and that's a place where the Air Slash can definitely help you, or the Wing Attack as well. If you are lucky enough to have one of those double legacies, I would recommend the double legacy, because you're gonna either want blast burn or flamethrower as an option. If you are gonna go with wing attack, you cannot have a wing attack and blast burn on the same one, because of it was already a legacy by that community day. So you can see a couple of its toughest counters are going to be a Magcargo. If you run into a Magcargo team, that Charizard, you need to watch out, because that Charizard is going to go down super quick just to its fast moves alone, being double weak to rock. And as you can see, the obvious its matchups just going to be the grass guys, but it's got a lot of play in this meta, because a lot of our water boys are also ice. So that means the fire is going to be neutral to them. And if you can get a fire blast off on a Celio or a Lapras, it is just not going to be a good time for that Pokemon. So we're just going to take a look at some of its other opponents. As you can see, it's not like a ton of issues. You're not gonna see a lot of these guys here. A lot of its top opponents are just not super popular in this cup. You're gonna need to watch out for Relicanth. Relicanth just completely walls Charizard. So really, what you're gonna be looking for is just to avoid the surf on Lapras, to avoid too many body slams on Celios, and then just a lot of these more obvious picks. Sudowoodo can do a lot of damage if it can get off a rock slide. That Charizard is just dead in the water. So we're gonna take a look at some battles with Charizard, and if you guys think this is a good member of your team, or a good member for your team, I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's a super powerful Pokemon. So we're going to jump into some battles with my friend Sean. Now, there are a few Pokemon that I feel pair well with Charizard. Gloom is one of those Pokemon, so I'm going to use her in a few of these battles. Sometimes when you're up against a Lapras, you're gonna need something to hit that hard and fast after your Charizard is gone, and Gloom is good for that. So for this battle, I went into the Whiscash versus a Dragonair, and I don't throw the Mud Bomb right away. I like to charge up until Blizzard is ready, and I can get two Mud Bombs. So I'm going to go ahead and charge up to the Blizzard is ready, and then he won't know which one to block. And so I'm going to get 2 Mud Bombs off, and then hopefully in between I'll be able to not have a Dragon Breath hit me in between if I have timed this right. So I'm going to go right for the other Mud Bomb. So we did get his shield, because it could have been Blizzard. So that's one strategy for the Whiscash versus Dragonair mirror. So I'm just going to get this Mud Bomb off. And then he's going to hit me. I'm going to block an Aqua Tail. I do want to win this 1v1. I'm not thinking he's going to double block, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to block this Aqua Tail. And then I'm going to let him Dragon Breath me a couple more times so I cannot be farmed by the next Pokemon. And I'll have like a little bit of extra energy. So I'm just going to get this Mud Bomb off. And then if he doesn't block, I'll go into the next Pokemon and I'll just be a couple of Mud Shots away from my next Mud Bomb. And I'll be low enough so that I won't be farmed much. He will have gotten, it looks like he's just going to get just 2. So he'll have 2 Fire Spins of energy towards my next Pokemon. Definitely I'm not going to go in with Gloom. So I'm going to go in with my own Charizard. And I got a little bit of health off of his with that Mud Bomb. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to QSA up the Dragon Claw. And then, see, I got an extra Fire Spin in during his charge there. And because I QSA'd the Dragon Claw, it's going to throw immediately after this Blast Burn. And I'm glad I blocked that. Blast Burn would have definitely taken me out. Now you can see the Dragon Claw just immediately fires because I did QSA that. If you're not familiar with QSA, go on the Go Stadium YouTube channel and find the recent video. I will go ahead and leave a link to that. Wild Susan Boyle discovered a mechanic of the game that queues up a charge move, and it can cut down the chance of your opponent getting an extra fast move during yours. So definitely look into that. So it allowed me to get some energy, and I'm going to go in with this Gloom. I don't want to have this Lapras get like a whole bunch of energy because I'd like to be able to finish it off before it can get too much on me, and then I'll be able to just Fire Spin it down. I might have enough for a Dragon Claw. Alright, so that was a good first game. We're going to go into our second game. I'm going to go ahead and lead Lapras into this. He has Charizard on his team as well. It would be great to catch that. Instead, we're going to run into the mirror. So there's a couple ways to play this mirror. I do have a video about the different ways to play it. There's a couple different baiting situations. If you're going to go ahead and bait the surf, you're going to need to do it twice, or else if you only bait one surf, you're not going to have the defense boost on board. It's a whole thing. So I do have a video on my channel from a couple months back. So I'm going to go ahead and go straight for the Skull Bash. And as you can see right here, I do get an extra Ice Shard in right there. So I'm going to be ahead 1 energy, and then during my charge, or one fast move, and during my charge, he did not get 1. So I am currently ahead in energy by 1, and I am going to be able to get this Skull Bash before he gets his. Now I'm just going to get this off. And then at this point, if he's not aware that I am ahead 1 in energy, he might just think it's a surf. So I'm not sure if he thought it was a surf or he knew it was a Skull Bash. Either way, he didn't block. So I'm in a pretty good position here. He did wait a couple of fast moves, so I wasn't 100% sure what this would be. But because he didn't block, I'm going to go ahead and not block either. And because I still am ahead in energy, I should be. I don't believe he got... I don't think I got an extra fast move during his last one, but I'm still ahead 1, so I'm going to go ahead and get this Skull Bash off. And we're going to go into our next Pokemon. And then this isn't a great situation at all for Lapras. I'm not gonna switch out. I don't want to lock myself into something else, but I'm definitely not going to be able to get to a Skull Bash. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw the Surf. It's not going to do that much, but I might as well just chunk away as much as I can at this Gloom. And then it did get to farm me a little bit, but it's Razor Leaf, so it's not a huge deal. And I do have 2 counters in the back, so at this point it's just kind of deciding which counter I want to go in with. Charizard does a little bit better. I'm just going to be able to get a whole bunch of energy. This return is going to hurt a little bit because Charizard is squishy. You'll see the return does quite a bit for being such a low energy move. So he just goes right into his Dragonair. And because I have the Dragon Claw ready, I'm just going to go ahead and spam it a little bit because I've still got that Skuntank in the back for the Gloom if I do need to go back there. So we're just going to go ahead and take advantage of all the energy that we already have. And get these Dragon Claws because they will do quite a bit to Dragonair. even without that stab, you do get a nice amount of damage. So I'm just going to go ahead and prevent any more farming and go straight into this gun tank. I'm just going to block just in case. I mean, what might as well. It could be a Dragon Pulse, I suppose. So I'm just going to go ahead and block that up, and then Gloom won't be able to throw anything at this point that hurts this gun tank. So, all right, so we're just going to go into game 3. That was a good game too, and enjoying Charizard. A little bit of an interesting Pokemon here. It definitely takes some finesse. So we're going to go into our next battle here. I'm going to go ahead and lead Charizard and see what he comes in with. We do meet up with the Lapras, which is definitely a bad situation for this Charizard. So I go straight into the Celio. Now you don't want to QSA with a Lapras here because you want to get as many body slams as you can before that defense boost hits. So because he didn't switch out, I'm thinking, what has he got on this team that is also weak to the Celio? He's got a Charizard, got a Dragonair. What's he got in the back? So I'm going to go ahead and block the Skull Bash because I'm thinking if he's gonna protect this Lapras, or if he's gonna save this Lapras, I'm gonna go ahead and save this Celio. Or if his team is weak to the Celio that he doesn't want to switch, I'm gonna go ahead and save this Celio. So it might be my mistake, especially because I do have a Charizard in the back that is so squishy. So I'm just gonna body slam away, try to get as many as I can. He does have that defense boost on board, and so it is gonna take quite a bit. We're just going to see what he comes in with. I've got no energy going in. So he goes into his own Celio, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm going to QSA it, but then I notice he's not throwing his either. So I'm thinking he's probably also QSAing. And in this situation, if you're like the losing end, you don't have shields, you don't have a whole lot of energy. You don't want to waste a whole bunch of energy on QSA. It just sometimes doesn't make sense. And so I did give it up in this round, and I kind of allowed him to QSA me, which maybe could have been a mistake. So we're going to go in, and then I'm just going to have to go back in with my Lapras, even though it's going to take a really long time to get to my charge moves that'll do anything. I didn't want to go in with that Charizard because I haven't got any shields, and that Aurora Beam would just cut me right down. And so I went with my Lapras, and as you can see, it's taking forever. I did speed up this battle just because these Body Slam and Surf Skull Bash races do take so long. So I got him down to where a Surf would take him out, and then I'm going to go into his next Pokemon, and I've got a lot of energy. But he does have a shield, so he went into the Dragonair, and then I decided to go for the Surf. I think if I would have, it was definitely a mistake to go for the Surf because he didn't shield. If I would have just gone for that Skull Bash that I had, I would have been in a much safer position here. So we're running down on the clock right now, and I'm thinking, okay, so if this Aqua Tail doesn't take me out, I actually have a chance of quote winning this game, and I did, which I actually wrote him to apologize right after, just because the way Times Out works in this game is if you have more HP, I believe that it doesn't matter how many shields are on the field. I believe it's just HP. And so even though he 100% would have won that game because I only had Fire Spin, he resists the Fire Spin, it gave it to me. So that's something to be aware of. If you're running down the clock, sometimes use a shield, have more HP, because that's what it comes down to. Alright, so going into this next game, I was Whiscash to Gloom. I immediately needed to switch because that Whiscash would take me right out. And so I switched into my Charizard, and I QSA'd this Dragon Claw because this is just I'm going to lose to Dragonair. So I wanted to get as much energy as I could while denying him an extra Dragon Breath during my charges. So I QSA'd that Dragon Claw up. And then I had quite a bit of energy just from the swap, and so it's going to allow me to get 2 back-to-back. And so I did get one of his shields out, and then if he doesn't shield this, it's going to do quite a bit. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to let's see if I'm going to be able to get another one. So yeah, this was lucky. It might have been because I did QSA and he did, and then I got 2 back-to-back. I believe that's the only way I probably got this third one off. And so I was able to regain the lead. If he would have blocked that, because there is a Gloom in the back, and it is such a powerful Pokemon that doesn't always matter if you have shields. If he would have blocked that to keep swap advantage, I think it would have been more optimal. But it is hard to give up both shields so early in the game. But it did allow me to go into this Lapras with this Wish Cache, and I will be able to have swap advantage and not ever have to meet that Gloom, as long as I'm fast enough when he tries to put it back in. He did that was a nice move. He switched right at the moment when my Mud Bomb was ready, so I didn't want to throw it on this Gloom. It's gonna do a good amount just because it is neutral because of that poison typing, but I'm gonna go right into this Skuntank, and nothing Gloom can do at this energy is not gonna. Sludge Bomb wouldn't even do that much. Return is gonna do it. It's gonna do a lot for return, but it's not gonna do enough. So I'm just going to go ahead and farm this down a little bit. As you can see, the Razor Leaf actually does quite a bit from Gloom. Gloom doesn't have like a terrible Skuntank matchup, but it's definitely not, where Gloom wants to be. But because I was able to farm up, I'm going to go ahead and get this Crunch. And then I do get his last shield. I'm not going to block here. Lapras does do well with Skuntank, so I'm just going to let this Skuntank go. And then I'm going to go right back into my Wiz Cache. I am going to QSA because I would like to deny an Ice Shard. I don't want him to get a Surf and then another Surf. So I'm going to go ahead and block this first Surf, and then I should be able to get 2 Mud Bombs to take this Lapras out. So as you can see, the first one was just queued up because of that QSA. And then I will be able to get the second one back to back. All right, so great game, Sean. I'm loving exploring all these different starters. I've probably tried every eligible Pokemon in this cup so far. I'm having a really hard time deciding. I've made like 25 different teams. And I like them all, and I hate them all because this cup is so diverse that I believe it just isn't possible to be covered for everything. So you can just kind of do your best and find Pokemon that you are comfortable with and that you work with maybe in general in other cups, and then build teams around them. And you know what? I have not seen a team that isn't weak to something. So don't give up if you just need to find out. You need to be aware of your weaknesses. Know that there's so many eligible Pokemon that you're probably, and because there's so many eligible and there's so many that aren't eligible, I believe it was made in a way that it's just not possible to be 100% covered. But just be aware of what you're weak to, be able to overlap coverage with different Pokemon. And I'd say try a lot of different stuff because it is a fun cup for team building. So thanks, guys. Thanks so much, Sean, for the battles. Definitely one of my favorite battlers. He's on the other side of the world, and I have a night schedule, so I'm lucky that I get to battle him at like my 3 a.m. So thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.